everybody. It's Ron and Hope Unfiltered, real, raw, and relevant. And we are so glad that you took the time to be with us today. Ron, what are you doing? What are you raising your hand for?
Stretching my back. You may have hurt my back 2 days ago.
You did. You know, that's old people problems. When you can just like get up.
No, it wasn't like
out
that.
of the bed and you pull your back, or you.
I was drying off.
Cough. And you pull your back.
I lift weights and I lift heavy weights and I work hard. You don't ever injure your back doing something like that. You always injure it with some stupid movement.
Right.
Some weird, awkward movement, and then you catch. I was drying off my feet and shins.
Okay.
I was out of the shower and I was bent over and I drove. And when I went to kind of pick my foot up, 1 foot down, 1 foot up, pop, I felt it.
You need to do Pilates.
Baby, I'm very, very flexible though.
No, you are not.
Because when I lift, I go very full motion.
Ron, you are not flexible.
Baby.
Get up and do a toe touch right now. Get up and show them how you can do a toe touch.
My hands flat on the ground.
You cannot. Ron, your hamstrings
those things
are
that
tight.
I got when I showed you in that weightlifter that lifted my leg all the way up 90 degrees.
Anyway. Okay, so you were just stretching your back.
57 years old, that ain't bad.
Okay.
But yes, I was
stretching
my back on this side because it's tight.
I thought you heard it on the left side.
Doing better. No, it's in the middle.
In the middle.
So I kind of shift back and forth to make it comfortable.
Okay.
Man, I'm not like down in my back, but I did tweak it. So
it happens.
Take care of it. It happens. So we had not viral's not the word, but we had a huge response when it comes to our podcast on YouTube. I don't know. I haven't looked at our numbers lately. I don't know how many people get our podcast on a streaming site versus YouTube. But on YouTube.
No, it's my Instagram.
Excuse me, that's right. Your Instagram, a clip that we did on the Jezebel spirit just went huge. Didn't go viral, but it went huge. And a lot of feedback when I did that on that Sunday, and when I did that at XP, it flipped the whole thing on its head.
That was powerful, Ron.
I'm not kidding, guys. Now Redemption has lots of intense services. So when I say flipped it on its head, I mean even another level or two. But at XP, God told me about 2 days before, he said, I just want you to chunk this message. And I'd already prepared this whole message on called Third Dimension Worship.
Right.
And I worked hours on this thing and had it ready and prepared. And all these pastors started calling in, telling me these battles that had broke out. And the Lord just revealed to me there's been an unleashing of a Jezebel spirit against leadership, and that I need to go after it. And so I went in that morning, LXP, and 10 minutes into the service, we went after it and hoped that place, what God did in that place was amazing. And out of all the preaching and all the word and revelation that went forth that day, people pointed back to that deliverance where something broke off them.
I want to tell you, somebody you always get these trolls on Facebook and Instagram, and somebody said, stop preaching this heresy. They said, there ain't no Jezebel spirit. They said, if that's the truth, then there's a Paul. You're going to preach on a Paul spirit and a Timothy spirit and they just went on like that. Like, why are you just picking Jezebel out of here and saying it's a spirit? Then you're going to say Paul's got a spirit and Timothy's got a spirit.
When you see something that operates in the same way Jezebel did, we name it that.
Well, it was what she was carrying. It's not that her name, it's
it ain't got nothing to do with the name.
It is what Jezebel herself was operating
what she operated in. And when you see that coming against you, we give it that identity.
Right.
And it's not for the spirit, it's for us. And because every name that is named, Jesus has a name above it.
Yeah.
So when
every spirit has a fruit. And so what we're really talking about is the fruit.
Yes.
Of that spirit that Jezebel was carrying.
Somebody always wants to debate.
They do.
And so anyway, so here's this was Hope's idea. Hope's idea is her just ask me some questions and me just talk about this. Because let me tell you something. We're living in this generation, like I said, where the doctors are passing out, anti-anxiety medicine like Skittles, like candy, at unprecedented levels. I went through a time, after COVID especially, where I looked at all the young preachers and I'm like, is there a topic that exists other than depression and anxiety? I mean, that's all it was. Like every preacher in America was preaching on depression and anxiety. I'm like, what in the world?
Well, I think it's risen. Depression and anxiety has risen due to the computer age, the Instagram age, the influencer age. Everybody's in this spirit of comparison. And and it's depressing when you
my
look
life
at somebody.
Ain't like yours.
Yeah, my life's not like yours.
But their life ain't like that either.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, and so hope let's go deeper on that. We saw what happened at the conference. We see the testimonies. We saw that out of all the clips we put out of our podcast, that one. Pew.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you don't have to be a brain scientist to know, okay, we're on to something here, something that people are obviously dealing with. So I would like to talk about it at greater length and just take these next 25 or 30 minutes in doing so to help some people. Now, I do want to recognize, I don't want to be so earthly I'm no spiritual good, and I don't want to be so spiritual I'm no earthly good. This is a whole nother message, but I believe we're supposed to dominate in both realms.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to dominate in my life with self-control, have dominion in the earth. Whatever is my sphere of rule, I'm supposed to rule it. It's not supposed to rule me. But also in the spirit, I've been given authority. And what I've been trying to do is awaken people to the realities of the dark spiritual realm that is against them.
Right.
Because there's people that are not even aware of anything going on up there, so they fight everything in natural causes. You cannot medicate a demon. You cannot counsel a demon. You cannot therapy a demon.
You don't negotiate.
Only thing you can do is cast it out.
Right.
And so, I don't have all the answers to how am I clinically, because some parts of my glands are out of order and shot, and I am clinically depressed. I believe that is real.
I do too.
Okay?
Yes.
Been there. I believe a woman can go through a pregnancy or have a hysterectomy, go through a hormone deficiency, and just absolutely emotionally fall off a cliff. I watched it happen. Okay? Now, having said that, there are some times where you got to understand if no natural remedy has remedied it,
right,
you're not dealing with natural things. You're dealing with spiritual things.
Yeah,
and there is a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
There is a Jezebel spirit. There are spirits that have fruit. We wrestle. We're not wrestling things that are carnal, but things that are mighty through God for the pulling down of strongholds, and then we don't wrestle flesh and blood.
Right.
Wrestle principalities, powers, rulers, spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. Okay? So we are in struggle. We are in wrestling. We are in contention. We win, and we're assured victory.
If you know what to fight and how to fight.
And so I want to talk about how to know when a Jezebel spirit is in operation against you, and a little bit about what that is about. Excuse me. May I first of all just define it?
Yes.
The Jezebel spirit operates in illegitimate authority. It tries to rule, control, and dominate, but does not have the authority to do so. That is, again, characterized by Jezebel was running Israel through a weak Ahab. Ahab didn't have a thought in his brain. Ahab didn't have any leadership qualities that I can read of whatsoever. And when you start reading 1 Kings, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all in that, you just follow Ahab. Whatever Jezebel wanted, she twisted and turned him any way she had to so that she could institute Baal worship and false gods into the kingdom of Israel. And it was a very wicked time in Israel, but it was all traced back to a woman who instituted worship, instituted laws, governed, killed, castrated, and everything according to her will, but used his title to do it. He had the legitimate authority. She did not. But she was getting her way because she knew how to control him. That is, in essence, the stream of the Jezebel spirit. And the Bible says that in the works of the flesh in Galatians 5, that one of those works is sorcery. And when I read that one of the first times, I was like, I thought sorcery was like demons and spiritual. It is a work in your flesh, in your fallen nature. You can have the desire to control somebody else. And the only time I'm ever
When we're in the
exhorted to
flesh.
control is me. The Bible exhorts me, the fruit of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, is self-control. God wants me to be in control of me, but God at no time wants me to dominate or control another.
Right.
And when you are being controlled and you know it, and your decisions are no longer your own, that is when depression and all other things set in, because you are no longer master of your own world.
Okay. We have an ad, but I want you to think about this question that we're going to come right back to, and we'll discuss it, because so many people I've heard talk about Jezebel's spirit, because she was a woman, just automatically say that that's a woman. A Jezebel spirit is a woman. The spirit can be operating in either male or female, correct?
Spirits don't have a gender.
Right. There's no gender. But are women more susceptible to that spirit? We'll come back to that. Green Chef. We love Green Chef so much. And fall, we love fall. Fall is Ron's favorite time of year because he likes to wear his jackets, the crisp air, the cozy sweaters, the warm flavors, makes everything feel so comforting, and it's the perfect time to reset and bring healthy habits back into focus. And with Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for clean eating, you can do just that. Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying fall. And with their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy delicious, wholesome meals in just 3 minutes. That's crazy to me. A whole meal in 3 minutes. Perfect for supporting your wellness journey. Green Chef recipes feature fresh, organic, seasonal produce and 100% responsibly sourced proteins to help you feel your best. Green Chef's real clean ingredients help you build lasting, healthy habits without the hassle. Enjoy salads ready in just 5 minutes, protein-filled breakfasts, or nutrient-rich smoothies to fuel your day. Green Chef is ready to nurture your nutritional needs. With 80-plus dietitian-approved weekly meal options, Green Chef makes it easy to find meals that fit in your lifestyle. Pick from Mediterranean, gluten-free, plant-based, protein-heavy, even gut and brain health, and calorie-smart choices too. The recipes change every week. With week-to-week flexibility, you can adjust your meal plan to match your mood and your schedule. Ron and I love the creamy Tuscan chicken with sun-dried tomatoes and spinach. It is so good. It tastes just like something you get from a restaurant. It is packed with flavor. And Green Chef sent everything fresh and pre-portioned. And all he had to do was cook it and enjoy. It's honestly one of the easiest ways to eat clean and still feel like you're treating yourself. So make this fall your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50 Ron and Hope and use code 50 Ron and Hope and get 50% off your first month. That's 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50. That's 50 Ron and Hope at greenchef.com/50 Ron and Hope.
Amen.
Okay, so although a spirit has no gender, it can go to anybody who's willing to embrace it and operate in it. Do you think women struggle more or more susceptible to this type of spirit?
I think that goes back all the way back to Adam and Eve. I think that goes all the way back to our earthly father and mother, okay? Now, Jesus was the second Adam who was a man of the spirit. And hopefully we're in the second one and not the first one. But in our fallen nature, Adam and Eve, our earthly mother and father, you have Eve not rebelling, but Eve was deceived by the serpent. Adam was not deceived at all. There was no trickery.
He just said, okay.
He just rebelled.
Yep.
I think in our fallen nature, men are more prone to rebellion. I think women are more prone to deception. I think that means this. Let me define it. Women are more susceptible to be used by something like that and not be aware of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think men are just more prone to be hard-headed, stubborn, And I'm not going to submit, and I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to serve God.
And I think because of that spirit in a male of being just hard,
It opens the door.
stubborn, it opens the door for a woman to feel like, well, I can't win, and he's not listening, so I got to find another route.
I got to find another way.
Yes.
And even Hollywood, I know, has had a couple of movies. I think one of them was like a B movie. I didn't see them, but I read the trailer stuff. You know, where they even take on, you know, Jezebel is like the name of a character. I think one time it was actually the name of a movie. And what it was, you know, is always a conniving, deceitful, underhanded, undercurrent woman. So even they have embraced some biblical reference to a Hollywood character. Mm-hmm. So the spirit is very real. And it's usually its main target is leadership. So anybody with any type of say-so, it desires to get its will done through somebody that has built authority legitimately. Mm-hmm. I remember times, prophets have to be careful for this. Prophets have to be very careful because with their antennas being so high in the air and God being able to use them, there's also been some time where I know some very good prophetic voices tried to use my place to turn, coerce, make something happen, and I actually had to confront it, and they'd always leave.
Mm. Yep.
They would always leave because I operate in an apostolic authority, and I had to be very sensitive to when there was a prophetic wave that I needed to flow with, and then when somebody else was getting in some type of other spirit and trying to get something done through me because I had the authority to make it happen. You know, I had people come up and say, you know, God said that this ministry needs to be done.
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
You can.
You can feel that thing
Just
when it starts. Yeah,
you.
When it starts working on you, you can feel it at work. And so I want to just go down the line and say, number one, it's illegitimate authority. Now, to show you how much this is in our fallen nature, a child. Okay? We don't want to think about those little, beautiful little babies. You've said no to a bag of Sour Patch Kids 4 times. And you're walking through Walmart, you're walking through Target, or you're walking through a grocery store, wherever you do what you do, you're walking through it.
And then they put them up there at the checkout station again.
Husband is home at 6 o'clock, it's 5:15. You're trying to get stuff to cook and get home and get cooked, okay? And so the kid waits till he gets in front of people at the line and throws an almighty fit until you reach over, here, I need you to be quiet. Here, just take this.
Manipulation to get what they wanted.
Okay, that's exactly right. It is in the nature of a human being to do what I have to control you.
Mm-hmm. To get what I want.
Who's the authority? Mama. Mama's in authority there. But the kid in the nature knew what it had to do, ask you enough times, whine long enough, cause trouble long enough. I know you got tired of spanking kids. So by the time I got home, you're like, I'm spanked out.
Right.
Take them. You know, so what did they do? They don't sit there saying, I'm being used by the enemy. They're not saying that.
Right.
It is sorcery within the nature. What does that mean? The desire to use someone else to get them to do what I want them to do.
Yeah.
And that degenerates into a spirit. It is a fallen nature, but anything you do in the flesh consistently can degenerate into something demonic.
It does. And let me say, when we were talking about the women, the men having the rebellion, the women being more prone to this, and I think it is a totally not even thinking that you are being controlled by a spirit or you're getting in the flesh. The woman is feeling like, I'm just trying to get you to do right. I'm just trying to get you to help me. I'm just trying to get you to come home on time. I'm just trying to get you to help with the children, you know. But at the end of the day, truly, even in a marriage relationship, you can't make the other person do anything.
It has to be their decision.
It has to be. And anytime you insert yourself into I'm going to force you to do something I want, even in the form of sex or money or anything. It is being used by that spirit.
Anything that you use, say anything that you use to control somebody else. Okay, for a man, money. You don't have any. I got plenty of it, and
come do what I
can
need.
leverage it. Yes, to get you to do what I want. Corruption in systems. I've seen corruption happen right in front of my eyes, where this person said no, and then this company said, "Well, I tell you what, we'll kick you back this if you did it." And all of a sudden, the person was coerced into doing something because somebody else used their leverage.
And they didn't want to.
All of those things are a part of the fallen nature, and they are sorcery that is within the flesh of trying to control the people. And then immediately that person walks away knowing they've been controlled.
Yeah.
And there is a feeling that comes with that is akin to and likened to depression. Elijah, Hope, is one of my favorite characters in the Bible. I know Miss Denise Boggs at Living Water said, I am a modern-day Elijah.
Right.
Maybe I am. He's one of my favorite characters because he just don't care. He's just going to obey God, and if it just, whatever everybody thinks, I think I have some of those characteristics. Maybe some of my battles has rubbed a little bit of it off of me, but most of my time I've been a gunslinger. And Elijah is calling down fire from heaven. He's mocking them. Where's your God? They're walking around praying, calling on Baal. Nothing happens. He's making fun of them. He calls down fire. All the prophets of Baal are slain. Jezebel hears the news. So let the gods do so to me if he's not like one of them by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
Running for his life. He don't want to be running. He is not by nature a runner.
Or a hider.
He don't run away from anything.
Hiding up under a juniper tree.
He's already confronted them on several occasions.
Yeah.
And now he's running, and now he's hiding. And knowing that now he is making decisions not because of him, but somebody else is making them for them, he gets depressed. Most of the time when people feel trapped, when people feel like they can't make their own decisions, okay? When people, it can even happen in a church staff. We've talked about this. When I feel like because of certain circumstances, I can't get to make a decision that in another case I would have easily made.
Right.
But in this case right here, you start feeling ick and ooh and goo. Why? Because all these other considerations going in to trap you to not be able to make a decision you're supposed to make.
Right.
And so there is this foreboding and this cloud that kind of follows you when you know you're being controlled by something, even a substance. When a substance is, you're not meant to be controlled.
Right.
You're meant to be led by the Spirit of God. Yeah. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. And whenever you're being controlled
by anything.
So usually people that are dealing with an ongoing, consistent battle with some type of anxiety and depression that for whatever reason has not been remedied, are they masters of their own life, and are they free to make their own decisions? Because when you feel controlled, I remember there were times in your early adult life, because of the way you were raised, you still didn't feel free.
No.
And it worked on you.
Really bad.
I mean, you want to share what that felt like?
Yeah. I mean, truly, no freedom to make a decision whatsoever.
But after you were way out of the house, you still function like you were in it.
But because that's what authority was to me. And you would say certain things, and it would sound like my daddy. Or it would sound like my mom, or control, or whatever. And so even though you weren't trying to control me, it felt the same. So it just was like a hopelessness for me.
See, I remember one time when you were going through all that. I remember one time you were at the beach. I think I had come home early because I had to preach, and you stayed down there a couple of days with the kids and some friends and stuff. And you called me because you and your daddy got in an argument on the phone. You called me and said, I'm scared he's going to come down. I'm scared. I remember the panic in your voice, and I'm sitting there. It's like,
grown with kids.
You're like 37 years old. I mean, I really didn't understand. I'm like, baby, So what? But to you, at that time, you couldn't make decisions on your own because you felt like you being coerced. And I watched you during that time spiral and go down. I think that's where Elijah was. Elijah went from fire from heaven to suicidal at warp speed. Nothing happened. It was just under a threat. I went over this in the last podcast. Another way that she works is she tries to find dirt on people and hold them under a threat. There's nothing, I don't know that I've had many more difficult times in my life than when one of the things, when we were building that subdivision for single moms, and the people out of Charlotte, North Carolina I'd partner with, the president of it had done some very twisted business stuff. But everybody came after me about stuff I didn't even know. And then they brought the FBI into it. And the FBI made a threat. You know, we're going to turn this place upside down till we find out something.
Yeah.
That 3 years, I lived under a torment.
You did.
I would hear sirens go off. That's how much it affected me. Nobody ever did anything. We were declared clean. Nothing ever came of it. I ain't done nothing.
I remember one time in our house, right there, Connors Creek, we heard helicopters and you started panicking. You said, "Hope, is somebody out there? Is somebody out there?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
A threat. So anybody, you know, Jezebel wanted Naboth's vineyard. I've always said, what is a vineyard? A vineyard is dirt. She wants dirt so that she can wield a threat, because if I've got something on you, I can
control you. So if somebody says, "Man, you're talking to where I am right now. I'm feeling all these feelings. I just feel manipulated. I feel controlled." And I do believe the spirit is so sneaky that some people could be, Jezebel could be influencing you and you not even know that it's Jezebel. You're just being a puppet and you're being used. But some people could be feeling so depressed and so low and hopeless. What would you say to them?
Well, I'm going to say something. Number one, Jezebel is usually close.
Absolutely.
Usually in your circle.
Absolutely.
In your leadership team.
In your house.
Jezebel cannot really harm you at a distance.
Mm-mm.
Jezebel is usually close. And a lot of times we think if we can get rid of the person, you understand, getting rid of the person is not getting rid of the spirit.
Right.
And so a lot of times we get rid of a person. That may be necessary. I've had to do that time again. But there is a time you have to confront it. And I told the people that day at LXP, I said, that's a nasty spirit. It's nasty. You know, it's another thing is, and I do want to answer the question because our time's about up, but another thing is I talked about the taking away the masculinity of men. I said, that's how I think it's been released in America. It's not just church and church people. It's something in America that we're now, being a man is all of a sudden toxic. Mm. Being a man that is a caretaker, being a man that is a protector, being a man that is a provider.
A woman who wants to be in control. I'm independent.
Hope. This will stir some comments in the comment section. When Adam and Eve sinned in the fall of man, the tragic fall of man in Genesis chapter 3, where all of humanity is suffering from it to this day. Every blight on the earth came from that event. God came and started handing out the curses. Since you have done this, spoke to the serpent, you shall crawl on the belly, you shall crawl on your belly, you shall eat dust, okay? When he went to the woman, he said, your pain will be greatly increased in childbirth, and your desire will always be for him. That word translated out in Hebrew, as I have studied it, is
his place.
Your desire will always be for his place.
Yeah. Fighting to be on top.
What do we see in America in this day? It is a striving to take men out of a place and replace them, and to take women out of a place and place them where now you have God's order that have been reversed.
That's powerful.
And everything was fine as long as Adam was feeding Eve. But when Eve started feeding Adam,
yeah, but you want me to always come bring you your plate and feed you.
You know what I'm talking about. When the man was looked at as leading, I'm going to lead my household.
Right.
Order was in place. When it got out of order and Adam was letting Eve run everything and had abandoned his place, my mama even had a little thing she gave at a women's conference one time I thought was absolutely brilliant. She said, you know, everybody talks about Adam and the serpent and the conversation and being deceived. She's like, well, where was Adam?
And that's what I was about to say. And the women's listening saying, well, I don't want to lead, but he won't lead.
Hey, you know what? Would the conversation had even taken place if Adam was covering his wife?
Right. Absolutely.
See, everybody's got to go back to their place.
So it's the chicken before the egg.
Everything's got to go back to its place.
Men, stand up to be a man and know but don't do it in dominating form.
Right. No, you love.
Yes, the most crucified man.
Jesus became the head of the church because he was obedient unto death. We are the head of the house because we're obedient and we die to the needs of the household, the kids, the wife, the family, others, and we're the most crucified ones in the house. I talk about that at length in the marriage conference. That's how you get to be head. It is easy to follow a man that has died to everybody else in his family.
Yeah.
That's easy to follow. It's not hard to follow.
So to break free from this,
it has to be confronted.
Yes, Lord, expose it. Lord, show me who. Lord, show me the way. And then break it.
It sounds overly simplistic, but it's the name of Jesus. It's the power of the Holy Spirit to destroy the yoke and remove the burden. But the thing is to become aware of it.
Yeah.
To become aware, to sit back and say, wow, I've probably operated in that. You gotta own that.
You're either operating in it or you're being affected by it. Yes.
And so, you know, or this is happening in my house, or this is happening in my workspace, and I can see it now. He's kind of pulled back the cover. That thing is really at work there. And even understanding that it, you know, when we give in, even to children, and if they, you know, if they know if we'll cry long enough, we'll come to the crib and get them.
So you're opening the door for that spirit to operate in your house.
To only increase. So these are very difficult boundaries, and I certainly didn't master it. You certainly didn't master it. But we have been through enough battles now to say that thing has to be confronted. Yeah, when you recognize it, it has to be confronted because Jezebel is a spirit you don't let roam free.
That's right. It's good, Ronald. It's good, Ronald Wayne.
Hopefully. Give us some stuff in the comments there because really I could care less about being culturally relevant. I want to be biblically relevant.
Right.
And I want to expose the truth because the truth will set you free. So anyway, this was a good talk, baby.
It'll keep you from being everything God's called you to be. Definitely. It will. It's their design to thwart your purpose, to keep you from running your race, from being everything that God's called you to be. So we got to confront it.
Yeah, I wish we had really more time. You know, women can nag or women can talk till they finally beat the man down, weary him, and coerce him. Men pout. Men pout. You know, men, they give you silent treatment.
Yep.
So the man, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get you to change something.
Yep.
We
all operate in it.
Yeah, it's just fleshly.
It is.
It's not godly. It's fleshly. And it has to be called out as that.
Well, y'all, I am about to jump on a plane and head to San Antonio to go view the venue and get all my specs and measurements for Calling All Queens Conference in January. I would love for every one of you under the sound of my voice to be there. You say, well, it's in San Antonio, Texas. Exactly. I did it strategically in the middle of the United States so that I could do an all call for women all over the United States to be there, to set it aside. It's the top of the year. It's January. It's the perfect time for you to start your year off right. January 15th, 16th, 17th, San Antonio, Texas. Go to hopecarpenter.com/events and get registered today. Early bird is over at the end of November, so come on.
And right
you
after
got
that,
to get registered.
We called it off for 1 year to take a
breather.
But we got our marriage conference. It's on the West Coast this year. Last one's on the East Coast.
And it's February.
I think it's only about half full, so registration is still, half of it's still open. Get registered for that.
That
It is
is-
life changing.
Yeah, 5th, 6th, and 7th
5th, 6th,
in
and 7th.
Monterey, California. So go to roncarpenter.com/events
Go
to
to My
register for that.
Redemption too,
or
right?
My
My
Redemption.
Redemption.
Yep.
All right,
we want to
baby.
see you there. So until next time, it's Ron and Hope Unfiltered, real, raw, and relevant.
See you later.